to your view.
Thanks for staying with us. Right before the break, you're talking about asked a question concerning experts.
Yes.
Do you plan to bring in experts to train?
We would bring in support.
Okay.
That's the word I would use. We'll bring in support to augment the existing skills that's already available, the teaching skills or the training skills that's available. The idea of bringing offloading experts into Nigeria, I don't think we need a whole, a bunch.
Right.
We just need the necessary requirement to augment what is existing.
Okay, let me ask this question I was going to ask earlier. We've seen in other climes that, yes, there's so many issues on ground, but sometimes when a leader is trying to be radical, take a radical route to change things, they pick one item almost at a time. Okay, this is where our focus is. Either we focus on education, we focus on health, we focus on, there's got to be a vision. In your view, your state as it is right now, what's that? I mean, you've mentioned the issue of training, skills. What is that one thing, or you feel that you're going to drive, or you're going to do it simultaneously? What is that key thing that you feel you're going to push for your
Oyo
state?
State is a typical agri-state.
Agri-state, okay.
And there's no reason why Oyo State cannot be the food basket of the nation. So, yes.
Anyway, we'll fight you.
They have land.
Well, you can say that. If you, I'll give you from statistics. Oyo State has the largest, most arable land in the western region.
Wow.
And it's like we're sitting on a gold mine. But we're not harnessing it. So one of the things we should do is focus a lot of energy on that. And we need to industrialize scale. That's all there is to it. We have to industrialize.
Right.
Well, you make these things sound very simple. I would say in as you plan, what are the things that you foresee might be challenges?
The challenges will be resource management, people management.
Okay.
The skills are not necessarily available.
Right.
So there has to be emphasis on training, and there has to be an enabling environment for that to thrive. And also there has to be a legal framework for it to also thrive.
Yes.
You remember the financial structure to support it is also very important. So the professionals will sit on the table.
I like that
Let's put years to it. So let's assume that you have a 4-year tenure, and in 4 years or 3 years, you will put all this paperwork together, so the legal framework, the training and all that, before you can start to see it materialize. Is that what you're saying?
Farming, if you want to focus on crop or animal husbandry, for example, my passion is animal, four-legged animal. I'm a cow farmer. I don't do crops at all. And for me, I see a huge opportunity for us here. And if you look at one of the issues that you were discussing earlier regarding the Fulani headsmen, I don't think it's just a security issue. Something we're missing is it's a predominant socio-economic issue. I'll give you an example. If you look at the totality of the country, protein to human ratio, we're supposed to consume on average about 8 million cows a year. Currently, we're consuming about 4 million. And 75% of that 4 million comes from other parts of the country. Let's start. 50% of that 4 million comes from across the border, outside the country. And the other 50% is produced within the country. And if we localize it, the western region consumes about 65% of total production. So there's a market in this part. So when they're migrating from the north, and somebody with the emphasis to go into agri-business, development is coming. And these grazing routes are being blocked. So when the animals are trekked from the north to south, and it's blocked, it causes issue. We all know what it is. Because the market is available here, the migration will continue. But if you're producing in Ijebu, I produce in Ibadan, you do in Lagos, we can reduce that by 50%.
Right. Okay, let me take this call from Abdul. Abdul, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Mr. Ayodeji, first I'm impressed. We want young people like you to step up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. First, let me congratulate Mr. Ayo for stepping up, to the challenge. It's not enough for people to sign, for government to sign not too young to run. But do the people have the capacity, to actually run? And as a matter of fact, young people in this country have been subjected to so much, I would say, they've been put in a position where they don't even believe in themselves to run. These politicians have created an entry barrier that, most young people are, because I've been involved in certain movements where we want to encourage young people to put themselves forward. And a lot of them are reluctant. That's on the one hand. On the second hand, Mr. AYG, at least I can call you that now before you become your excellency. Yeah, training people to in low skilled
Abdul, we're running out of time, please. Could you let's get the question, please?
Okay, now, my question is, it's not enough to train to have skilled people in the economy.
Right.
You need, if you train people and people cannot afford them, how do you balance that?
Afford, okay.
If you train people and people can't afford them anymore, so the business side of it, they now over price themselves.
No, as I said, I mean, you mentioned something earlier. When a government starts, do you focus on all your programs, or you take one?
Right.
For us, Oyo State is a typical agri-state. So the focus is to feed people. So once we channel our resources and energy into that, the first lot of training will be channeled and focused on that.
We'll take some tweets now.
I have one tweet here. Ademola Alalade says, please ask your guest what sort of people will he be working with when he assumes office. Is he supporting any other young professionals aspiring for office, House of Reps, House of Assembly?
Yeah, they are
the ones that actually make the
Let
law.
me add to that, because there are a lot of PEMSECs, there are a lot of people that have been in the system, that are almost civil service. They've almost been like I don't want to use the word
engine room.
Yeah. So how do you intend to
Work with them.
That's nice.
See, teamwork. One of the key things is teamwork. You have existing skills that's available. You have to look inwards before you start looking outside. Okay. Once you look inwards and you identify the key skills to fill, you have to put the right pegs in the right holes, first of all. Before you start bringing resources from outside, you have to look inwards. So those PAMSECs who are the engine room, the directors who are the engine room, what you need to do, reassess the situation. Whoever needs augmented training, give it to them. Let them, remember, they've been in the system for 30 years. They know the people.
They're corrupt too. Some of them are corrupt.
We'll deal with the issue of corruption. The issue of corruption is about process.
Okay.
When you put a process in place, checks and balances,
Okay.
you know, technology is available now
We
for
have
us
to run up. Stomach infrastructure is almost very, very rough in this side of town.
Yes.
How do you intend? Because all these lofty plans are great, but the man who say stomach
Food.
Give me food first.
Food. I'll give you an example. I went to do a short stop in Ogbomoso. And in my travel, what I found is I went into the market on environmental morning, and I decided I was going to talk to Yaloja and all these things. After I haven't spoken to all of them, I decided I wanted to address the whole market. And to my surprise, half of the people, about 1,000 people, half of them had a plate in their hand. So I said to my assistant, why do they have plates? He said, everyone's hungry. So, and I find in big cities, in Lagos, I think it's a bit, but once you go up country, the conditions are completely different. Like you rightly said,
So stomach infrastructure is an important part
very,
of your
it's
campaign.
number one.
To use
It's number
that.
one. It's on top. You people, no, not necessarily to get food. We don't plan to
Don't
start
plan to
feeding.
share Indomie and other stuff.
Well, people are hungry.
So you have to share Indomie.
They have to be fed.
But I guess the ultimate thing is tying people being hungry to how they then don't depend on you to feed them on a regular basis, and making that part of your communication.
What I say to people, three things. I said, if you're going to vote in the future, vote for credibility, vote for people who are honest from a good background, but do not vote for someone who will give you a piece of sliced bread and take away your bakery. Simple.
Okay, all right, I think we can round up on that. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Wish you the best in the upcoming campaign.
Thank you very much.
As we said, your view, because your views, our objective is to show people their options.
Yeah.
Don't go to 2019 saying there are no options. There are options. So you will see options. Young people from different parties across board. If you're any young person running for any office, please let us know. We'll bring them on to at least showcase them, because we want people to go in 2019 with your PVC with options.
Yes.
Have a fabulous
Very
day. We'll
important.
see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.